the situation in the world at the moment today is, New Zealand and Australia are a member of Gallipoli, the war 100 years ago. Do you think that the Islamic kind of uprising is also based in this materialistic sort of concept?
Absolutely. Like I mentioned early on, because a person may espouse that they are following one particular religion or another, that does not exempt them from being materialistic. And when anybody's life is founded on this idea that I am this body, that this is how I identify, this is who I am, they will be capable of unimaginable things, because they will be driven not by a spiritual foundation, but by so many false ideas. And in the name of religion, in the name of God, people can commit the most horrific things. The atheistic people like to say, oh, so many people were killed because of religion. Well, I'll tell you what, the atheists have done more damage than the religious people. It's a fact. Communism is founded on atheism, and the way in which they slaughtered people was unbelievable. Hundreds of millions. And it is the same mentality, atheist or so-called religious, fake religious. Because it's both founded on this, materialistic idea of who I am and how I identify. Are you on my team? If you're not on my team, you're against me. If you have another idea, I cannot respect you. This is not the foundation for a spiritual life. A spiritual life means a person, he sees in a particular way. There is this beautiful mantra in what's called one of the Upanishads, the Isha Upanishad or Ishopanishad. And it states, the first mantra after the invocation, it starts with Ishavashamidam Sarvam, which means that everything, animate or inanimate, that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota, and one should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong. These are guiding spiritual principles. And when I develop and cultivate this understanding, I will also automatically develop a deep and profound empathy with not just human beings, but all living beings. To see them suffer in any way, shape, or form is a source of great pain for me, if I have this type of vision. But when people do not have this vision, where they see all living beings, or even all human beings, as actual brothers and sisters, children of God, wearing temporarily different attire. Your body is like an attire. It's like clothing that you put on. But inside, we are all brothers and sisters. If I have that view, then if you have another religious faith, if you have another belief system, if you have different rituals and practices, absolutely got nothing to do with me. And you are still fine with me. You are still someone to be deeply respected and to be honored. And if I can do anything for you, I should. When people become derived of this actual spiritual perspective and everything is reduced to really dumb, materialistic ideas like belonging to a tribe, belonging to a religion, belonging to this certain identity that you adopt, which is only temporary. Amongst all religions, we say that real, eternal religion. It is called in Sanskrit Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan means eternal. Dharma means that natural characteristic of something. For instance, sugar. Its dharma is to be sweet. You take away the sweetness, what have you got? Some crunchy plastic crystals or cellulose crystals? Or it'd be weird to crunch it up without, and there's no sweetness. Each living being has exactly the same spiritual tendency. Each living being seeks happiness. Each living being seeks to love and to be loved. Each living being fears death because I want to be eternal. In fact, I am eternal. When a person adopts a particular religious faith in their search for God or spiritual truth, as I adopt something, I can also give it up and adopt something else. I may be a Christian one day, I may convert to become a Muslim can convert to become a Buddhist can convert to be a Jain, or you can just go on forever. Musical chairs. But what you are seeking, that thing that you are seeking, that does not change, and it arises from the soul itself. So real spiritual vision is not blinded by the adoption of some external religious process or even atheism or materialism. It's not blinded by that. People are all the same, and they have the same inherent spiritual need. It's the same actual spiritual tendency. And the spiritual process is about uncovering that, breaking through all of the conditioning that exists, peeling it away layer by layer, to actually come to know your real spiritual identity as it really is, your natural relationship with this world and all living beings, and that supreme, whether it is perceived to be a personal God or a unlimited ocean of spiritual effulgence, it doesn't matter from a spiritual perspective. Okay? We good? I mean, time is such a bummer. We're just scratching the surface here. You cannot even imagine, for people that are newly exposed to this, and even people that have been around a long time and who have become kind of like, on an ongoing basis, been influenced by the philosophies and ideas that are aggressively promoted within society, and we start, wavering. If you frequently associate with those who are saintly teachers, if you constantly expose yourself, this guy Thoreau, the American naturalist philosopher, or was it Einstein? Thoreau or Einstein, one of them, they were talking about Bhagavad Gita, and they say like how they like to daily bathe their intelligence in the wonderful, Thoreau, yeah. I mean, this is the reality. If one needs to receive this message, it's not like you can just get it from a book. You need to receive it in a line of teachers that actually represent the origins of this teaching. And when you receive and you go through a process of learning to consider it, and it becomes part of your life to participate in this process, it is thrilling. It is absolutely thrilling. It is just like, wow. You wake up and it's just like, wow. Even when everything's going wrong and you're encountering the ultimate bummer situation, it's like, wow. And you are not swept away by the great storms that will assault our lives from time to time. Okay, I think we're done. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to you all. I hope I have not offended anyone. I have a tendency to do that. I get a little enthusiastic about what we're doing. Thank you very much. So, we'll chant a little bit? Or what? Could I have a... Oh, here it is, right here. So, we've had a little bit of a mantra journey. We'll do something...
There's the chanting of the Christian monks and the Muslim monks in the same vein as the chanting of the Vedic monks.
Well, there's two types of things. One, I mean, the whole process of the cultivation of a real spiritual life, there are 9 categories of activity that can be engaged in to stimulate and to help manifest the spiritual understanding. And prayerfulness is one of them. But specifically the chanting of these transcendental mantras, which are directly actually names of the Supreme, names of God, they have a unique spiritual potency. So, yeah, fundamentally, there's a connection there.
Allah is a name.
Huh?
Allah is a name.
Yeah.